disillusionment.
Nothing will change until people can speak their minds.
If you read the back of the pamphlet, it says collective problems can't be resolved individually. We should be united.
Whether this group or that group wins makes no difference to me.
You're wrong to say that it makes no difference. Come vote. Change the atmosphere in society. They've really beaten people down.
We should have bombed somebody in Iran, then we'd bring them to the table just like President Nixon did to the Vietnamese.
I have authorized our military commanders in Iraq to confront Tehran's murderous activities.
We ultimately are headed towards a military confrontation.
We've got to use our force, and to me that would include taking military action.
2 carrier strike groups in the Gulf were sending clear messages to friends and adversaries alike.
I think that there's been a case made that we need to hit them, and that we ought to hit them as soon as possible.
That old Beach Boys song, Bomb Iran. Bomb, 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 bomb. Anyway,
For Iranians, war with America is more than just a threat. They are surrounded by foreign troops on 3 sides, and along the border with Iraq, a kind of low-intensity war is being waged in which Iranian and American and British forces take each other hostage, engage in espionage, and constant armed brinksmanship. Reformist governments that came to power in the late 90s eased control on media and opened up to the West, even aiding the United States in its war against the Taliban in Afghanistan. But when these overtures were rebuffed and Iran was named as a member of the Axis of Evil, the reformists were humiliated, and when the US invaded Iraq, the reformists were swept from power. Principalists, like Mohammad Ali Ramin, argued that previous reformist governments played into the hands of Iran's enemies by allowing too much division and disunity.
They created such a division that in June 1999, when a few students held a demonstration, it created a huge crisis in the nation. Our enemies saw such an opportune moment that they looked to create dissent around the country.
Why don't you talk about today's problems? Talk about the guys who have college degrees and are unemployed.
You want to fix the economy now, right? You want to trade and have business with the countries around you, but will they ever let you?
As election day draws near, campaign workers hit the streets of Tehran, passing out flyers for their candidates. They meet mixed reactions.
Voting is a national duty. I think everyone should decide on their and their nation's future by voting.
We love our country. I fought at the front for 4 years, but they have really weakened the workers. I voted in the past elections. Things are so bad this election that I am not going to vote. It's possible that at the last minute I'll go vote, but they have to work for the people.
The national student movement has been the most vocal and consistent critic of the current government. They say that elections have become a farce and that participating in them only legitimates an undemocratic system. Mehdi Arabshahi is the political secretary of Iran's largest student organization.
I think the parliament has lost its meaning. It has become a mere decoration in Iran's political system.
The campaigns end and Tehran is quiet for the last 24 hours before the election. At 8 a.m., the first vote is cast by the supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, who calls for massive turnout to demonstrate national unity. But the turnout for Iran's 8th parliamentary elections is 46%, higher than the latest U.S. midterm elections, but the lowest level of participation in the 30 years of the Islamic Republic. The reformists captured 50 of the 204 candidates who won in the first round. They have complained of election irregularities, and in any event, the early disqualifications of their candidates made it impossible for them to win a majority. Although they will again form the majority, splits within the principalists combined with reformist gains suggest that President Ahmadinejad will face a more independent parliament. And even though 86 seats are at stake in the runoff election set for April 25th, in the end, there may be no clear winner. Still, the campaign revealed that public pressure to restore Parliament's lost powers is growing, and the fundamental tension that drives Iranian politics remains in place, between demands for more democratic participation and calls for unity against a foreign threat.
I believe if America wasn't in the Middle East, now Iran was one of the greatest democracy in the region. There is a need and there is a demand for democratization, both from below and even, I believe, in the government itself, in the state itself. The main obstacle or the main barrier which prevent this process of democratization is the foreign threat.
That report by Kouros Ismaili and Rick Rowley of Big Noise Films. They went to Iran to follow the campaign before the elections. That report from Tehran. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. When we come back, we go north to talk south. We'll go to Canada to talk with the author of Guantanamo's Child, the untold story of Omar Khader. She heads to Guantanamo today. Stay with us.
5 long years was a man dreaming in chains.